Well, hello, all my friends. My name is SherriAnneDuffy-King, and I'm the writer slash author of the Title of a Crucified Innocent series. And I've done that book. That was book one. Book two was Prince in the Mirror. Book three was Wyler's Water Dweller Secrets. Book four was Epic Thorns of Destitute, and book five was Puddles of Chaos. All right. This is book six, but it's part of a new trilogy attached to my original five books, okay? This is called Secremthia Rewind, Part 1, Book 6, okay? Now, let's get started, shall we? Chapter 1, Uncertainty. Do you believe in fate? I used to think that fate was just an option until I pushed open the sandstone door, being swallowed by that warm light. I know it sounds strange, but all I remember seems like a fictitious fantasy. Every detail of my life before that door is so vivid, a horrendous nightmare of intrigue and danger. But as my mind pulls toward that sandstone door in that damp cavern, my head hurts. Yet beyond the pain and the darkness of sleep, I can feel warm, strong arms encircling me and breathing on the nape of my neck, awakening a primal feeling. A cold breeze brushes through the window, making the curtain sway. Donna Emily Summers opens her eyes, trying to focus on the crystal chandelier jiggling from the breeze. How did I get here? Was all that real? A sudden knocking on the door startles Donna. Donna gets up and walks to the front door. Beyond stood Mina, one of Donna's two favorite people in Rosemont Peak Boarding Academy. Are you ready? Donna looks up at Mina with a blank stare. Ready for what? Mina smiled, tilting her head, and winks. For the homecoming masquerade Hallows Eve dance tonight. It's going to be fun. A chill ran up Donna's spine. Deja vu. Chapter 2. Dancing with Fate. The dance was just as Donna had remembered it. Everything was the same. A force beyond nature was pulling her to that pole gym balcony. Just as Donna had remembered, on the other side of the large windows and door, dancing to Frankie Valli and the Jersey Boys in the fall of 1969 were Thomas Lawrence Franks and Vicky Zano. Donna touched the glass, feeling the cool solid. She lowered her hand to the knob, twisting the metal down and pulling the door toward her. In the corner, hiding in the dark, was a shadow getting ready to pounce on an unsuspecting couple. It was as if Donna Emily Summers had stepped through time into 1969. Thomas and Vicky stopped dancing under the bright moonlight. He bent low on one knee and produced an intricate little ring box, presenting it to Vicky. As Thomas asked, his voice sounded as if it was beneath water. The shadow rushed at Thomas, knocking the ring from the intricate box. As expected, Thomas dived over the edge of the balcony. Donna couldn't help it. She grabbed him by the ankle and held onto the balcony. Donna was surprised that Vicky grabbed Thomas by the other leg, helping pull him back over the edge. When Thomas was secure on the balcony, he breathed out a sigh of relief and brought his hand up to his eyes. A strange feeling overcame him. He looked at Vicky and then saw a glimpse of Donna behind her and decided not to bring out the ring he had caught. Both Thomas and Vicky disappeared. Donna backed out of the balcony and headed toward the front of the school as fast as she could. Out front, on the main road, was a tipped car. The same music from inside was blaring over the stereo. Donna watched a dark shadow pull a baby from the car. The shadow shifted to a man. He was smiling down at the child, surprised she could see him. The man's blue eyes lighting up and glowing mysteriously. Little one, I have never brought life into this world. I usually administer death. You are so beautiful. I'm surprised you can see me. Let's get you to safety. He looked back to the dying mother. What is your name, woman? The woman ignored his question, only asking in sweet delirium. Where's my Donna Emily Summers? The man looks down at the now slumbering baby, then catches a glimpse of Donna Summers watching him from a distance. Donna Emily Summers. Perfect. The beginning of a new season. The image disappears, leaving Donna stunned. Chapter 3, Curious Thomas. Thomas grabs Vicky, unsure of what just happened. They head out to his 1967 Chevy Impala. While sitting in the car, he asks, Vicky, what just happened? Vicky turns to Thomas, shock in her eyes. I don't know, Tommy. I was scared I would lose you. It was like someone had grabbed you and was holding you against the banister. I've never seen that before. Vicky uses a tissue to wipe away the tears. Tommy, I need to go back in and clean up my makeup. I will be back. Vicky gets out of the car and walks toward Rosemont Peak Boarding Academy. Thomas watches her walk in. He pulls the ring out of his pocket. How could such a small trinket almost cause irreparable damage? Thomas leans back in his seat, taking a deep breath. Why could I not give this to her? He asked into his empty car. The only answer he received was a loud crunch of metal skidding upside down across the desolate road. From his view, Thomas could tell that the male driver was dead and that the female was nearing death. A car accident had just happened. Thomas couldn't take his eyes away from the chaos. He saw something that he would never forget. A shadow transformed into a man. He was holding a newly born baby. What really shook Thomas was that the figure of a teenage girl stood on the other side of the Shadow Man. Her eyes caught a glimpse of the Shadow Man watching her. Suddenly, the Shadow Man's head snapped in her direction. Then he vanished, leaving the baby wrapped up on the ground. The girl had vanished just as fast. Thomas got out of the car and ran toward the car accident. He picked up the baby. A small voice broke the silence. Where is my Donna Emily Summers? Then the woman collapsed in shock. Thomas held the baby against his leather jacket and ran into Rosemont Peak Boarding Academy to find help. Thomas ran into Vicky in the hallway near the office. They headed in and Vicky dialed the police and an ambulance. As she was busy doing that, Thomas sat down in the chair and pulled the baby from his chest to look at her. She was definitely a she. She had sparkles in her blue eyes. Thomas had a strange pull to this little girl. He pulled out the ring, then placed it in the child's hand. The baby smiled. I guess your mommy has named you. It is officially nice to meet you, Miss Donna Emily Summers. My name is Thomas Lawrence Franks. The baby giggled as Vicky put down the receiver and turned to Thomas. Tommy, may I hold her? Thomas nodded and smiled as he passed the baby to Vicky. A scream echoed to him. Thomas was sure Vicky could hear it, but she didn't bat an eye. Vicky, I will be back. Then Thomas stood up and ran after the blood-curdling scream. Chapter 4, Ice and Fire Meet in the Hallway. Donna was shocked that the Shadow Man snapped his head toward her. His icy eyes frightened her. She ran toward Rosemont Peak Boarding Academy, trying to get away as far as possible. Eventually, I will wake up, she screams. Down the hall, Donna watched Mina head into the women's restroom. Turmoil filled Donna's stomach. Donna stopped dead in her tracks. She knew what would be next. Or so she thought. A burning sensation started in her hand. She pulled it toward her and opened to reveal a ring in her palm. Oh, shit. Donna didn't know how Thomas's engagement ring appeared in her hand. A cold draft spilled past Donna, making her look up, and behind her, not too far away, stood the Shadow Man. Donna screamed in shock, and within inches of her, smiling. Hello, Donna Summers. I've been waiting for you. Donna stepped back from him, only to have Locker's blocker escape. So what happened was, she heard him, she turned around, looked, and suddenly he was up on her. Okay? I just didn't write it that well. He smiled, stepped closer, pushing her up against the lockers and grasping her wrist, holding them firm. His touch was icy. Kit morte. In a sultry voice, Kit bent down and claimed her lips with his. Donna pinched her eyes shut. Images of this Shadow Man came flooding her mind. She could feel him put both her hands above her head, holding them with his one hand. With his right hand, he slid his fingers upon the small of her back, pulling her against him. How could Donna forget about Kit Morte? He was a huge part of her memories. If it wasn't for him, Thomas would be alive and have a beautiful, beautiful life with Vicky Zano. Oh, God. Donna screamed with her mind. If she was when she thinks she is, then Donna needs to break free from Kit and save Thomas's family from his deranged father. Donna opened her eyes. Behind Kit stood Thomas. Thomas grabbed Kit by the shoulder, pulling him off of Donna. When Kit was turned to face Thomas, Thomas decked Kit so hard that Kit burst into black smoke. "Are you okay?" Thomas reached for Donna, extending his hand. Donna reached for Thomas, her palm facing upward, his hand touching her knuckles. He brought his other hand, so both were cupping her open palm. He looked from her to her palm. A ring rested in her hand. Next to it was a scorched imprint of a ring. Thomas was dumbfounded. How did this ring get in her hand when he placed it in the baby's hand? "What is your name, miss?" Thomas met her eyes. She smiled. "My name is Donna Emily Summers." That realization hit him hard. He let go of her hand, placing both of his in his pocket. How is this even possible? Donna didn't have words. She reached into her purse, pulling out an old news article, stepping closer to him. She handed him the paper. Thomas took it, looked at it. "Follow me." Thomas led her to his car, opening the passenger side door for her. Then he got behind the wheel and started to drive. He knew to take Donna. He followed Dual Street, headed west to Rosemont Peak Boarding Academy, crossing over Barbary Bridge. On the other end of the bridge, Thomas followed a small path to Brandenburg Overlook. He parked his car, then turned on the interior lights, pulling out the news article and Donna had handed him. He began to read. Shock was relevant in his eyes. Sorry about the background noise. "This cannot be right. It says I died tonight. Then a report of a car accident happening in front of Rosemont Peak Boarding Academy. Now it goes to talk about my father Ernest and what he's planning to do. Oh my God, we need to stop this." Donna nodded, unsure of what she was going to do to help prevent history from repeating itself. Donna shifted in her seat, turned to look out over the Belvedere Ravine overlook. On the other side of the cliff was the balcony of Rosemont Peak Boarding Academy. The 1967 Chevy Impala's lights crossing the Belvedere Ravine to light up a figure of a man. Donna slapped her hand against Thomas's leather jacket and pointed. "We need to get out of here now, Thomas." Donna wasn't sure why her voice came out so shrill. Thomas locked the door, started the car, and began to back up and turn the car. As the light left the lone figure, it moved faster than Donna could register. Suddenly, Kit Morte was next to Donna. Okay, so on the other side of the ravine is the balcony that Thomas jumped over on accident, okay? They're at the back of the school, sort of, but on the other side of the ravine. Suddenly, Kit Morte was next to her. The passenger door and a glass window separated him from her. He banged both his palms against the window pane, smiling devilishly, those eyes wanting only one thing, yearning one desirable object. "Donna, you're mine. You cannot rewrite the past to soothe your future. Come back here now. You are mine." He screams that, but in a cool voice, okay? Donna scooted closer to Thomas, and Thomas peeled down the path, racing away from the devil himself. Who was that, and why does he want you so bad? Donna moved back to her seat, taking a deep breath, then looking at Thomas. "I'm not sure why he wants me. I don't fully understand his ploy. But his name is Kit Morte. He is the one who knocked your ring from you during your romantic proposal to Vicky Zano. As the article said, you, Thomas Lawrence Franks, were to meet your demise tonight, thus setting off the travesty for your family. Your father is a monster. We need to stop him." Thomas took a deep breath, shrugged his shoulders. "How did you get my ring?" Donna looked down at her hand. "Which time?" Thomas stopped at a stop sign, letting some trick-or-treaters cross, caught her attention. "How about both times?" Donna explained in great detail everything she had remembered, excluding the sandstone door. Thomas revved his engine, turned right at the stop sign on King Avenue. He continued on for a few more miles and pulled up in front of Thomas's house. Somehow being there was less spooky since their last visit together 17 years from now. Chapter 5, Changes of Fate. Eerie clouds had begun to cover the sky. Thomas pulled his '67 Chevy Impala against his front curb. The house was different to Donna somehow. The lawn wasn't as overgrown as she had remembered. There were beer bottles scattered every few feet. Who was that guy, Donna? Donna turned her face to look at Thomas, meeting his green eyes. I already explained, Thomas. Que morte. He is death incarnate. But no matter how much Donna re-explained to Thomas, the facts were not sticking. They got out of the car. He walked over to her. She got an idea. Thomas, stand there. Don't move. I want to try something. He stood still. Donna stepped closer to Thomas. With one swoop movement, Donna wrapped her arms around Thomas's neck, pulling herself up and kissing him. At first, Thomas was alarmed, but he fell into the kiss, filling Donna's heartbeat. He closed his eyes. Suddenly, another world, years away from his demise, flashed before his eyes. Everything was beginning to make sense. Memories flooded from her soft lips to his heart and mind. Donna pulled away from Thomas. I wasn't sure if it would work. Oh, Donna, it worked, and I remember everything. He placed his hand out to her. She placed his ring in his palm. As they touched, their skin glowed. Thomas was amazed. Shall we carry on? Donna walked to the window near the door, grabbing the key from the sill and using it to unlock the door. Donna waited in the living room while Thomas went to the kitchen and dialed Fred's house phone. Hello? Hey, this is Thomas, Alex and Jane's older brother. Keep them there. We are having domestic issues here at home. I will call when it's safe. Okay, will do, Tommy, a voice said at the other end of the receiver. Then the phone hung up. He came back into the front room. Donna was standing still. Donna locked the door. Donna walked over to the front door, locked the deadbolt and chain. Thomas grabbed a dining room chair and brought it into the front door, wedging it under the door handle. Go upstairs, Thomas. Check your mother, Louise. Thomas was shocked. What? Donna turned to Thomas, flashing her pearly white smile, watching his green eyes darken in surprise. Go upstairs, Thomas. Lock the door and find a way to get yourself and your mother, Louise, to safety. Before he could protest, banging began on the front door. What about you, Donna? She looked down and back at him. I have a plan. I will distract him while you go. I was born for this moment. Thomas went up the stairs, going into his mother's room and closing the door behind him. The baby version of Donna flashed before his eyes. It couldn't have been a mere coincidence that Donna was born as he had died. Thomas looked around the room. Windows wouldn't afford them an escape. His father was deranged. Thomas pulled the covers from his mother and quickly began to dress her. Then he walked over to the dumbbell elevator and opened it. He grabbed his mom. Hold on, Mom. I will get us to safety. I love you. Bleh. As they both were in, Thomas closed the door, grabbed the rope, and reeled them down. Soon they were in the kitchen. He carried her through the kitchen door to the garage. After bringing her out of the side door, they were outside. He followed the dark line of his driveway to the curb. He pulled out his keys and placed his mother in the back seat of the car. She was asleep. He covered her with a blanket and slowly closed the car door. It began to rain. Thomas looked over at his drunken father, angrily pounding on the door. Finally, Ernest burst through the door. Donna watched the door frame shatter and the chair splinter across the room. In stepped Ernest Franks, a calm anger as he walked over the threshold, holding a case of beer in his left hand and a double-barrel gauge shotgun in his right hand. He calmly sat his beer down and stalked toward Donna. She slowly backed up the stairs, blocking Ernest from Thomas upstairs. Each step he took toward her, she inched backwards. Move aside. Donna placed her hands up and shook her head. No, don't do this, Ernest, please. That's your beautiful wife and your 3 wonderful children. Why would you do this? Ernest's black eyes met Donna's. She was stuck between the locked door and Ernest's immense frame. Dolores wants me to get rid of everyone and marry her. I would do anything for that vixen. Ernest lifted the shotgun, pointing it directly toward the doorknob, blowing it out. The door shuddered. Ernest lifted his palm up and leaned closer to Donna. A hair's length away from her, he smiled, and the intoxication made Donna turn her head, his hot breath brushing against her neck. He smiled devilishly as Donna felt him push the door open and move her out of the way. Ernest stomped through the room. Then the bathroom, he screamed angrily. turned and stormed toward Donna. Where are they? Donna hid the smile of satisfaction within her voice. If you do this for Dolores, then why did you shoot yourself downstairs? Ernest was dumbfounded. The question was bouncing behind his black eyes. I kept you busy long enough. Your family is safe, and the police are surely on their way, Ernest Franks. You need help. He raised his shotgun. Donna was against the closed bathroom door. She could feel the cool crystal knob of her fingertips. Shh, you can shoot me if you want. I forgive you.
I'm doing it.
Chapter 6, Accepting Destiny.
I'm doing it.
Thomas heard the gunshot, went in to make sure Donna was okay. He grabbed the baseball bat from behind the door and started to climb the stairs toward the second floor. He saw Donna pinned and heard the conversation between her and his father. He looked over to his parents' bedroom door, a gaping hole in a swinging door. Thomas lifted his bat as he crept on his father. He saw something unnerving. A smoky figure appeared between Donna and Ernest. The smoke turned into a man, Kit Morte, who knocked the shotgun up and away from Donna. Wrong. He said the word wrong. Was all that Kit said as the shotgun blew a hole on the left side of the wall above Donna. Then Kit uppercutted Ernest. Ernest flew back against the banister. Kit moved so fast that soon his hand was wrapped around Ernest's fat neck, lifting him up in the air, holding him. The shotgun fell to the ground. Wrong, she is mine, and you attempted to take her from me. Thomas had a chill run up his spine. His father stepped on Kit's toes. How was Thomas going to protect Donna from Kit? Donna screamed and ran toward Kit. Stop, please, he needs help, medical help, don't hurt him, leave him be, put him down, drop him. She screams all that, okay? Kit turned his face toward Donna. You should really choose your words carefully, love. A cold shudder ran up Donna's spine. Kit released Ernest and dropped him, watching him fall to the next level. Donna screamed. She screamed, no. Yeah, there's a lot of yell marks. Running for the banister, crying, suddenly Donna and Kit disappeared in a hazy black smoke. Thomas went down the stairs, shaken up by the incident. He walked past his father, sprawled out on the coffee table, breathing slow and shallow. Thomas walked to the kitchen, grabbed the receiver from its cradle, and dialing the police. Within 20 minutes, Thomas was in an ambulance, sitting between his drunken father and doped-up mother, lying unconscious. What are we going to do? Chapter 7, Fate Unraveled. Thomas sat in the hall, watching between two doors. The door on his left was his mother. The doctors worked fervently to pull her from her drug coma. The door on his right was his father. He watched the doctors work hard to save him as well. It was sad watching his parents fight for their lives. Suddenly, a woman's voice caught Thomas's attention. Excuse me, but is Ernest Franks okay? Thomas turned to look at her. The woman, even at night, looked like Jerry Lewis in drag. You need to look up Jerry Lewis. He's like one of my favorite actors. Such a good actor.
Come on.
Miss, are you related to the victim? The woman's makeup was messy with tears. I'm not related. My name is Dolores. I'm Ernest's fiancé. May I see him? Thomas stood up, walked toward her, his fists clenched. Hi, Dolores. No, you may not see Ernest. The woman's face turned toward anger. How dare you? Who are you to keep me from my Ernie? Thomas leaned in closer. His son. Dolores stepped back, shock on her face. Thomas pointed to the security and the nurse. Arrest her. She was the one who orchestrated the whole murder-suicide incident. A sheriff stepped forward as the security guard had Dolores subdued. Thomas smiled. Sheriff, if my father pulls through, I want him arrested. He needs help. The sheriff nodded, walking Dolores out of the Belvedere emergency room. Thomas turned to head back to his hallway chair. But at the other end of the corridor, the lights flickered heavily. He decided to follow. At the end of the hallway, a glass window glared back at him. Thomas peered through the glass. Something under the flickering light moved. Thomas focused his eyes and saw a sleeping baby. Donna Emily Summers. He touched the glass, smiling. He was worried about her. He saw the burn mark imprint of his ring. The ring was gone, but its shadow stayed. "Tommy?" He heard Vicky scream as she ran up to hug him. "I was so worried. I heard what happened, my love." Thomas pulled from the hug. He almost forgot how beautiful Vicky Zano looked. "How is the baby's parents?" Oh, I'm sorry. I made him sound like her. I'm so tired. Can you tell? "How is the baby's parents?" Vicky looked down, tears escaping as her voice cracked. "They're dead. She's an orphan." Thomas looked back at the baby. Vicky wiped her tears, then started to talk. "Tommy, I found this ring in her hand. It is the most beautiful ring I have ever seen. For my girl, Vicky Zana, circa fall." He stopped her before she finished. She held it up to Thomas. He took it, bent low on one knee, and did the unthinkable. "Vicky Zano, will you marry me? I know that this night is full of atrocities, but I could not have hoped for the love of my life to be separated from. I want to grow old with you, have many children, and raise that baby and my siblings. I know this is a lot, but you are my soulmate." Then he continues. He stops, then continues. "Please do me the honor of becoming my one and only soulmate. Io amore tu, Vicky Zano." Vicky smiled, said yes, and embraced Thomas. He was so happy. He looked at the baby, Donna Emily Summers, always smiling beyond glass. A nurse interrupted their moment. "Thomas, your mother has pulled from the coma, but your father has passed away. I'm so sorry for your loss." Chapter 8, True Delusional Darkness. Donna rushed toward the banister, screaming. As she reached it, Ernest was gone. The house was dark and quiet. Donna Emily Summers, I don't know how you went back to 1969, but I brought you back to 1985. Donna cleared her tears away with her sleeve. Why? Kit turned her to face him, his blue eyes magnetizing. Eventually, everything will sink in. Kit stepped closer to Donna, pulling her face to meet his. Don't you remember the promise that you made me in Ambala? Donna closed her eyes and turned her face away from his. How could she have forgotten? He hadn't. Donna, you are mine. It took me years the first time to realize the connection, but you made me realize within 20 minutes you shouldn't have saved Thomas and his family. For that, your mother had to replace him in the underworld. But regardless of your pleas and tears, Ernest Franks was doomed to death for the thought of killing you. You made sure of that. A solitary tear slid down Donna's face. Kit pulled her face to his, kissing her. Donna let him take control. She didn't know what else to do. At least the rest of Thomas's family was alive and safe. That's what mattered the most. Kit wrapped his arms around Donna, lifting her up and carrying her to the nearest bedroom. Before Donna could catch a breath, Kit's lips were pure intoxication, making her dizzy as soon as he pressed them against hers. She was unable to break from his grasp. He placed her on the bed. He threw smoke from his right hand and closed the door. The brief pause from his lips gave her room to think. Why are you doing this to me? Kit smiled at her. The answer should be obvious. You are mine. I have come to collect. Donna reached her hand to stop him. If you had approached me and asked me out, what makes you think I wouldn't have said yes? Kit stopped. Are you saying if I had approached you like a mere mortal, you would have considered letting me court you? Donna tried to sit up. I would have considered it under normal circumstances instead of you thinking of me as property. You never gave my heart a chance to fall for you. Kit pushed her back into the dusty pillows. I've never considered it, but you are mine. You lit my heart on fire, and nothing will be able to quench the desire I feel for you, Donna Emily Summers. Kit's words shook Donna to the very core. She reached up, open palm, and slapped Kit across the face, turning and tried to crawl away from him. Her legs were wobbly as she scaled across the mattress. Kit, full of anger, grabbed her ankles and yanked them back, flipping her. He wanted her. Horror flashed across her face as he shredded her dress, revealing a red lacy teddy beneath. Before Donna could register, Kit was on top of her, consuming her with his lips. He slid his fingers down between her legs, opening them wide. He slid his shaft into her slit, entering her. Donna tried to fight. Why was Kit doing this? His lips were making her dizzy. She could feel him enter her. Darkness clouded over his blue eyes. Why had God allowed him to hurt her? This wasn't love, this was torture. He started slow, then went harder and faster. When Kit had finished, he pulled from Donna, started to pull his clothes back on. Donna crossed her arms, rolled away to her side. Before she closed her eyes, she realized whose room she was in. Thomas. She cried until darkness overtook her. He's got earmuffs on, he can't hear me talk, okay? If you're wondering. Chapter 9, Awakening Hope. Everything flooded Donna's senses. She opened her eyes. She sat up screaming. Her eyes were blurry. She was crying. In stepped a man, 17 years older than she had remembered, his green eyes calm. Em, are you all right? Thomas? Thomas hadn't heard Donna say his name since the night she vanished. Yes? Thomas was sure that Donna fitted right to the timeline. Why are you here? You're supposed to be with Vicky and Happy. Thomas sat on the edge of the bed. I've been waiting to tell you for 17 years that I adopted you and keep you safe from Kit Morte. You have been calling us Dad and Mom for years. You are safe, Donna. Kit won't find you. Donna felt awestruck. Really? Thomas smiled. Really? Donna asked, Thomas, are you happy? Thomas smiled even brighter. Yes, Donna, you saved my life, my family's life, and I married the love of my life. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have spent years reliving my death. I got to raise you, watch you grow, teach you everything I know. It's been such a blessing, Donna. You are such a blessing. We changed your name so Kit wouldn't be able to find you. What? Thomas started to pace the room. Donna, we switched your name, your first and middle name. So instead of Donna Emily Summers, it is now Emily Donna Summers. Donna jumped up. What? Thomas reached for her. Calm down. It was the only way Kit wouldn't find you, Emily. Thomas touched Donna's shoulders. Her eyes changed white and she collapsed. Donna, oh Donna, are you okay? Please be okay. Thomas laid Donna on the bed. He lightly kissed her forehead. Flashes pulled Thomas in. He watched where Donna went when she disappeared from his house all those years ago. He watched everything Kit had done to her. Anger built up in him. In her skewed timeline, he had raped her. Thomas went to throw a chair at Kit, but the chair flew through the image. Then Donna rolled over and vanished. Thomas watched Kit turn and jump toward her, grasping empty air. No, Donna, where is she? Kit turned toward Thomas and vanished. Thomas was brought back to reality. His questions were answered, but at last, Donna was now safe, and in this new timeline, she was a virgin, his safe little girl. Thomas pulled away from Donna, combed his fingers through her dark locks. She was around the same age when he first met her. The only difference he saw was that the tips of her hair was dyed red. He pulled the covers up to lay them across her chilled body. Thanks, Daddy, Donna mumbled, and Thomas knew that Donna from the other timeline was gone. Good night, sweet Emily. Thomas closed Emily's door gently, praying that she remained safe. Chapter 10, First Days. Emily opened her eyes. Today felt different for her. She slid out of her bed and headed to the shower to get washed up. While in the shower, Emily started to think about the same man she would dream about nightly. His magnetic blue eyes made her heart skip. Emily wasn't sure why he had control over her emotions. She could feel deep in her soul that the man was missing her. His name was a mystery, yet every time Mina and Riley tried to help her with her dating life, she would go numb. He was the reason why she was single, and yet she couldn't figure out why that was happening. She slid out of the shower, grabbed her black beach towel, and wrapped it around her. Emily stood in front of her mirror above the sink. She took the washcloth and wiped away the steam from the glass. A figure of a man appeared behind her. She jumped back, squealing in shock. Quickly, Emily turned around, and the man wasn't there. She looked back at the mirror. He was gone. She looked back at the mirror. He was gone. Emily dropped the washcloth and headed to her room. Emily grabbed her jeans, sliding them on. Then tossing on a loose the sweater tank top that draped over her right shoulder and top that looked like black knee-high boots and her dad's leather jacket. She combed her thick curls, dark curls. Emily grabbed her cold crystal glass door handle. She looked back over her shoulder, examining her room. Nostalgia overwhelmed her. Today was going to be different. Emily just wasn't sure if it was going to be a good different or a bad different. She caught her reflection in the standing mirror. Alright, I'm going to end at this chapter. Thank you so much for being with me this far. I will continue on chapter 11 in the next video. I love you guys. Bye.